In the previous Código video, we discussed the Rosa, which is aged in uncharred Napa cab wine barrels. Now I plan on talking about what happens to those barrels for the rest of the portfolio. So the Blanco is going to be unaged. The Rosa is going to be rested in untoasted barrels. Now let's talk about the Reposado. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Donnelly. I'm an expert in distilled spirits with 9 years experience in the alcoholic beverage industry, and my goal is to educate consumers more about the alcoholic beverages they enjoy so they can make better shopping and drinking decisions. Here is a bottle of the Código Reposado. Hand embossed, or you can see the embossed glass of the Jerusalem cross. Uniform packaging across all their labels. So, the Código Reposado is going to be aged in hand-toasted French oak barrels for 6 months. Now, let's put this into some context. The Código Distillery receives these French oak barrels that previously held Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon wine. Those barrels are filled with Blanco tequila, and that tequila rests in those barrels for 1 month to make the Rosa. And then afterwards, that wine is bottled. Then afterwards, that Rosa tequila is bottled, and those barrels are hand toasted. Well, how do you hand toast barrels? So I've seen some videos of this at the distillery, and it's really cool. Basically, this guy, and I believe his son as well, they make a small fire. They take old barrel staves and they burn them to form charcoal. And this guy hand shovels these burning charcoals into the barrel and allow that barrel to toast, the inside to gently toast, until, this experienced employee of the distillery decides that barrel is toasted enough. It's not done by time. It's done completely by sight and smell. This person apparently is so skilled at this that he'll know after looking at the barrel and smelling the toast that this barrel is done toasting. And then afterwards he just dumps out the charcoal, and that barrel is ready to be filled with Blanco tequila. Those barrels, French oak, previously held wine, now they're hand toasted and they're ready to go to age the Reposado tequila. This product is aged 6 months, so that is 4 months longer than the industry minimum for the Reposado category. Certified additive free. We're going to talk about additives in a moment, but I think additives are most relevant when talking about aged expressions. Tequila that has been either rested or aged, reposados, añejos, extra añejos. And because I have found the most common additives are typically manipulating color. Consumers like consistency of color, and lots of brands choose to add a bit of caramel coloring to have consistency of coloring at bottling, so that no matter what what that batch was like, because every barrel ages that tequila differently, right? So there can be slight differences in color, and it's important for major companies. It's important for major tequila brands to have that consistency of color, batch to batch, year in and year out. Now, Código is saying they don't add any additives, and that especially is relevant for the aged expressions, or the rested and aged expressions, because there could be slight differences at bottling, between, one batch of Reposado, or especially one batch of Rosa compared to the others. But enough talking about it. Let's taste it. So, you can see, beautiful color for a Reposado. I drink a lot of Reposados. If you've watched any of my videos on this channel, you'll know that I'm always looking for that perfect Goldilocks. You'll know that I'm always looking for that perfect Goldilocks between agave flavor and barrel flavors. And a good Reposado to me, just really hits that sweet spot perfectly. I'm not looking for the barrel flavors to overwhelm the agave flavors. I'm not trying to just drink tequila flavored or agave flavored bourbon. I want that delicate balance. I want it to still be agave forward, but with some barrel flavors to be able to support that flavor profile. So the tasting notes from the brand are listed as balanced with hints of vanilla, caramel, and cocoa. So pretty generic. Ooh, that's got a really nice nose. And, just on the nose, you're still getting strong agave flavor, which is so important to me in a good Reposado, especially at this price point. But you're still getting, I'm still getting that vanilla and caramel, and, you could even find some cocoa in there, but definitely vanilla and caramel. You're not quite get into the super strong baking spices, but that just really subtle vanilla and caramel. It's there. It's not the primary aroma, but it's just there enough. It's just strong enough to provide a lot of supporting aromas for the agave. But the agave, I think, is definitely still the lead flavor on this. As a reminder, before I taste this, all Código tequila, at least in the United States, is bottled at 80 proof or 40% ABV. So there'll be a kind of a consistency of proof among all these tastings. Let's give it our first sip. So this is the first alcoholic drink I've had. This is the first alcohol I've had on my palate today. So first sip, even at 80 proof, want to let my mouth warm up to the alcohol. I would say the barrel flavors are a little stronger on the palate than maybe on the nose. Just on that first sip, it's still very, very tasty. But I bet on that second sip, I'll really be able to get a lot more nuanced flavors once my mouth warms up to that alcohol. So let's revisit this. Oh yeah. Much bigger flavor on that second sip. And that agave really still punches through. I would say there's more barrel influence on the palate than the nose. But I would say maybe they're more proportional, right? On the nose, you kind of got a majority of agave to a little, a minority of barrel flavors. But on this, it's really more 50-50, which, I think most people are looking for. If you're drinking a Reposado, you're looking for equal parts barrel flavors as well as agave flavors. But that agave punches through pretty well. The barrel flavors are a lot stronger, very enjoyable. I think they're well integrated. I think, integration is a sign of a well-made product. Does the agave flavors play well or harmonize with the barrel flavors? And I feel like you get this on, you definitely get that for this particular product. Again, you're going to have all natural color. They're not manipulating the color as well. And, it's just so interesting. I drink a lot of Reposados, and you can definitely taste the difference. There's something different about this product, and I know because I'm, reviewing the details of production, but the way that wine barrels, this product is not wine barrel finished, it is exclusively wine barrel aged. And that changes the flavor profile so dramatically compared to, every other tequila that's aged in ex-bourbon. And it just creates such a different flavor profile. And it's hard to put your finger on it, to have the right verbiage for it. But it creates like a finesse where the oak is a little more subtle. It's still there's still lots of oak flavor in this. It's just different. It's a different type of oak flavor. That French oak and former wine barrels are just going to lead to a different flavor profile. It's like when I was discussing the Blanco and comparing it to Lalo, both of them were delicious. But, the Los Altos versus the El Valle agave and the different production methods between them. One uses autoclaves, one uses traditional masonry ovens. It just creates a different flavor profile. And, between those two products, I'm not saying one is better or worse. They're both very enjoyable. but they're just different. And I was gonna, like for example, you take a very established brand like Herradura, which prides itself on its use of oak and the way they manipulate the oak and where they're sourcing their oak, barrels that previously held Jack Daniel's, Old Forester, Woodford Reserve. That product, especially if you like barrel influence, is delicious, but it's going to be a completely different type of Reposado than the Código. It's just fascinating to see the end result of how all these decisions made in production ultimately are going to affect the final flavor profile. And so I think that's why it's so important to drink different products that are made differently, to build up that kind of library on your palate, that build up that kind of palate library, so that you can be able to understand and enjoy the subtle nuances between these different products. So the most important question, is this product worth the money? And that's where I'm going to reference the average retail price in my home market of Oklahoma. Every single market is going to have different pricing. I would highly encourage you, check your local liquor store for pricing. Every single market is going to be different. But in my home market of Oklahoma, a 750 of the Reposado is going to retail somewhere between $53 and $57. So, you're well over 50, you're not quite to 60. So this is a very competitive price point, especially for Reposados. So, when it comes to, is this product worth the money? I might have to do some more fence riding and say, this product definitely can be worth the money if you are looking for perhaps a more finesse-driven and slightly different Reposado. The oak flavor is very enjoyable. It's very well integrated with the agave flavor, but it's just going to be a little different. It's not going to be quite as aggressive as maybe those ex-bourbon barrel aged tequilas. And this is, I don't want to say subtle, because there is good barrel influence here, but the way that I think those French oak former wine barrels aged this particular product, there's a bit of finesse to it, and it's just a little different, and I don't know if I'm quite doing it justice. I think this product is worth the money, especially if you understand that this Reposado is perhaps going to drink a little differently than a Reposado at this price point that is aged exclusively in ex-bourbon barrels. I think there's a finesse to this, and it's almost like a more delicate integration of barrel and agave flavors. And so I think if a consumer understands that and they're looking for that, and maybe perhaps they have a slightly more sophisticated palate, they've drank a lot of premium tequila, I think this product definitely could be worth the money. If you are perhaps a bit price conscious, and the idea of paying almost, mid-50s for a Reposado is a little scary, no problem. The tequila industry right now is so big. There's so many incredible products at every single price point. You can get incredible Reposados for, several different price points below this that are going to be really incredible bang for your buck, really bang for your buck Reposados. But I think if you are perhaps a more adventurous drinker, maybe you're someone that drinks a lot of wine, this product might be perfect for you. And so I think if you understand that this product is going to have subtle differences in the final flavor profile, which makes it unique and kind of carves out its own little niche within the super premium Reposado category, then I think this product will definitely be worth the money for you, and you will not be disappointed. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe even learned something. Please give this video a like and consider subscribing. If you would like to be notified whenever I have new content on my website or this YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my email newsletter. If you have any feedback for the channel, leave me a comment or shoot me an email. I do my best to personally read and respond to every single email I receive. Also, if you'd like to support this channel further, please consider becoming a Patreon member or gift me a cocktail through the link below in the description. Thank you so much again for your support. If you do not care about the video component of these brand tastings and educational videos, then please consider subscribing to my podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts. It's just the audio content of these videos. Thank you so much again for watching, and as always, please drink responsibly.